Welcome back to Rescue Bots Academy. We're here again, now with the second half of this series premiere, Recruit Part 2. Picking up from where we left off, Hotshot is looking to take his cube and go home, but he can't get the space bridge to work. Optimus Prime just so happens to show up at this time, and takes him aside for a bit of coaching. He gives Hotshot an ancient Cybertronian relic, called the Multi-Cog Badge, but it'll only lend its power to someone who it deems worthy, which apparently doesn't take much.
If you were in a cube game, and the winning shot depended on you, what would you do?
I'd win.
Good answer.
Whoa! What does it do?
With his new participation award, Hotshot has gained 2 new alt modes in addition to his current ATV mode. He now has access to a jet mode and a hovercraft mode. So that's pretty cool. Now Hotshot is a quadruple changer. You know me, I love any bot that has more than one alt mode. Triple changers, 6 changers, deca changers. But wait, there's a catch. Turns out he can only use one alt mode per day. Why? It's not said. It's also not stated whether this is like 24 hours from when he last transformed. Like if he last used his ATV mode at 3 PM on Tuesday, does that mean he can't switch to his jet mode until 3 PM on Wednesday? Or does it reset at midnight? Like could he use his ATV mode up until 11:49 PM, and then after the clock strikes midnight, he can switch to his hovercraft mode? Either way, does this mean he's technically not a quad changer? Because he's not so much a bot with 3 alt modes, as he is a bot that can swap out his one alt mode like a person changes their clothes. Anyways, Hotshot goes back to his classmates, who are taking lessons from another one of the original rescue bots, Chase. They then have a race exercise, and of course, Hotshot and Wedge volunteer as the first participants. Right off the bat, Hotshot kinda gets screwed. They have this obstacle where Chuck is crossing the track, and Hotshot gets the red light, but Wedge is allowed to keep going. And he's stopped for a while. It really seems unfair. Especially since, at least with the bylaws where I live, if someone is legally crossing the street, and even if your lane is clear, you still have to wait until they finish crossing the entire street before going. Nonetheless, Hotshot has no trouble catching up to Wedge. He also seems to have a fairly easy time with the next obstacle, the rock climb, which I would have thought Wedge would have been better at, since he is built as a rescue bot and he's an earth mover. But I guess climbing rocks falls under the sports category. Speaking of which, Hotshot does fall, but manages to catch himself, though Wedge passes him. And the final part of the race is the home stretch, where they're allowed to switch to their vehicle modes. Wedge peels off. With Hotshot behind, he decides to try out his new jet mode, and kind of cheats to win and beat Wedge. Also, I know this is a kid's cartoon and all, but it kind of bothers me that after he transforms back to his robot mode, he still has all his ATV kibble, instead of jet mode kibble. I know, but I feel like if they're going to stick with this one alt mode per day thing, they should at least make slightly different robot modes for him based on what alt mode he is that day, kind of indicating that the multi-cog badge reformats him whenever he changes. They go back and Hotshot brags about receiving favoritism from Optimus Prime.
Isn't this amazing, Wedge? We have our own quadruple changer!
That's what I was thinking too, Whirl, until the whole one alt mode per day stipulation. Which, now that I think about it, isn't this the same day as the last episode where he already used his ATV mode? Are they already breaking their own rule? Maybe we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume it starts when Hotshot actually received the badge. So after a little arguing about what makes a rescue bot, they are summoned for a practice mission to rescue Cody in the caves.
Rescue bots, roll to the rescue!
That's what I say.
Then how about rescue recruits, roll out?
Works for me.
Still not as cool as when Optimus says it.
Autobots, roll out!
Despite having a simple map, Hotshot's hot-headedness immediately sends them down the only wrong path out of 2 possible choices. And Hotshot and Wedge's horseplay cause a cave-in, turning this into a real rescue mission. Unfortunately, Hotshot being stuck with his jet mode today means that he would be useless down here.
Just think, if this was a cube game, what would you do?
Okay, I know I said I liked how they were building up Cube as this Cybertronian sport, but I'm starting to feel that they're getting a little obsessed with it. Hotshot realizes that he can use his water guns, the ones he used to cheat in the Cube game at the beginning of the previous episode, to blast away and help clear the rocks. In the end, Cody is saved and Hotshot seems to have learned that he can contribute in a rescue mission just like his fellow rescue bot recruits. So, this episode was a little better than the last one. There's definitely some weird story quirks, and I'll definitely be watching the rest of the series to see if they stick to this one alt mode per day rule. Also, not having seen it, this has me wondering if these multicogs were something from the original series, because I seem to recall the previous Rescue Bots line had a lot of toys where it was the same character but with different alt modes. Like for one toy, Heatwave would be a fire truck, then the next he would be a boat, then a dinosaur, then a fire truck again, then a dragon, then a race car, then a fire truck again. So is this something everyone had? Did Optimus just give Hotshot his own? And why does Optimus Prime show such favoritism toward him? Maybe Hotshot is actually Optimus's illegitimate love child. Well, what did you think of Rescue Bots Academy so far? Is this show growing on you? Do you really want a quadruple changing Hotshot toy, but know that it'll never happen because this is a little kid's line, and kids these days can't even figure out how to transform a toy between 2 alt modes, let alone 4? Alright, see you guys next week for episode 3, and please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you here next time.